The rise and dominance of the Magadh Empire. The rise of the Magadh Empire was a gradual but transformative process that spanned several centuries, during which the region evolved from a small kingdom to the most powerful empire in ancient India. The growth of Magadh into a dominant force was influenced by a combination of geographical, social, political, military, and economic factors. Let's explore these aspects in more depth. The geography of Magadh played a critical role in its rise. It was situated in the fertile Ganga plain, which is known for its rich and abundant agricultural resources. The Ganga and Son rivers provided both waterways for transport and fertile land for farming, making it one of the most agriculturally productive regions in India. The region's rivers acted as natural barriers and facilitated communication and trade. The accessibility of trade routes through Magadh also made it a commercial hub, connecting various regions of India. This helped in fostering economic growth and cultural exchange. The climate and terrain favored large-scale agriculture, allowing the region to sustain large populations and a thriving economy. Magadh's rise was heavily influenced by the strong political systems and the competent rulers who guided the kingdom through periods of expansion and consolidation. Haryanka dynasty. The rise of Magadh as a dominant power can be traced back to the Haryanka dynasty, which began with Bimbisara, circa 6th century BCE. Bimbisara was a visionary ruler who laid the foundations of a strong, centralized state. His reign marked the transition from a collection of small kingdoms to a cohesive, well-organized empire. He initiated diplomatic marriages, forming alliances with neighboring kingdoms such as Kosal and Vatsa, which helped in consolidating power. Bimbisara's administrative reforms created a system of local governance and a well-functioning bureaucracy, ensuring stability and economic prosperity. His strategic use of trade routes and royal patronage to agriculture also helped the region flourish. Ajatashatru, Bimbisara's son, Ajatashatru, took over after a tumultuous period and continued the work started by his father. He not only expanded the kingdom's borders through military conquest, including the annexation of Kosal and Vatsa, but also consolidated political control through military innovation and effective governance. Ajatashatru was instrumental in the creation of fortifications, especially in the capital, Rajagriha, to protect his kingdom from external threats. The ability to defend and expand Magadh's territory through military power was a defining feature of its rise. The rulers of Magadh were skilled in warfare, and their armies were often well-equipped and strategically deployed. Ajatashatru's military campaigns. Ajatashatru's campaigns are particularly notable for their military innovations. His use of war elephants and siege tactics to conquer enemy cities and kingdoms set Magadh apart from many other states at the time. His siege of the Vatsa kingdom is an example of his military acumen. The kingdom's army was large and diverse, including infantry, cavalry, and war elephants, making it a formidable force. Magadh also relied on fortifications to protect its key cities, and the use of spies and intelligence networks to keep track of enemy movements and strengthen its defenses. The Maurya Empire. The eventual establishment of the Maurya Empire by Chandragupta Maurya in 321 BCE marked the pinnacle of Magadh's military power. Under Chandragupta, supported by the strategic brilliance of his advisor Chanakya, the Magadh kings expanded their territory to encompass most of the Indian subcontinent. This marked the first time that India was largely unified under a single ruler. Chandragupta's military campaigns against the Nanda dynasty and the Seleucid Empire brought vast territories under Magadh's control, and the Mauryan military was one of the most advanced in the world at the time. The rise of Magadh also coincided with the flourishing of important religious and cultural movements that further enhanced its influence in India and the world. Buddhism. Magadh holds particular significance as the birthplace of Buddhism. Gautama Buddha was born in Lumbini, modern-day Nepal, but spent much of his life in Magadh. His enlightenment took place in Bodh Gaya, which became a major pilgrimage site for Buddhists. Buddha's teachings attracted a large number of followers and turned Magadh into a center of intellectual and spiritual exchange. The patronage of Buddhism by rulers like Bimbisara and Ajatashatru also contributed to the religious and cultural rise of the region. Monasteries were built, and scholars gathered in these centers, making Magadh a home for spiritual learning and philosophical discourse. Jainism, similarly, Mahavira, the 24th Tirthankara of Jainism, spent a significant portion of his life in the region of Magadh. Jainism, like Buddhism, emphasized non-violence, asceticism, and meditation, and it gained widespread support, influencing the social fabric of Magadh and the surrounding areas. Cultural Renaissance. With the spread of Buddhism and Jainism, the region saw a rise in religious tolerance, cultural exchange, and intellectual pursuits. This contributed to the stability and cohesion of the Magadh state. Magadh's economy flourished due to its fertile agricultural land, robust trade networks, and the wealth generated from these activities. Agriculture. The Ganga River basin provided fertile soil, making agriculture the primary occupation of the Magadh people. The surplus agricultural produce allowed the rulers to sustain large populations and maintain standing armies. Trade. Magadh was an important commercial hub due to its strategic location along major trade routes. Goods such as textiles, spices, metalwork, and agricultural products were traded within the subcontinent and beyond, contributing to the kingdom's wealth. Trade. Magadh was an important commercial hub due to its strategic location along major trade routes. The Silk Road also facilitated trade between India and Central Asia, China, and the Mediterranean world. This interaction helped Magadh gain access to goods, ideas, and technologies from distant cultures. Urbanization. Cities like Rajagriha and Patliputra, the capital of the Mauryan Empire, became major centers of trade, administration, and culture. These cities were well-planned and strategically located for both commerce and defense. The decline of other contemporary kingdoms and republics also created opportunities for Magadh to expand. The Mahajanapas were a collection of 16 republics and monarchies, and many of them were weak due to internal divisions, external invasions, or ineffective leadership. As these powers faltered, Magadh capitalized on their vulnerability and absorbed or conquered many of them. The Nanda dynasty, which ruled over the region prior to the Mauryas, was relatively weak in terms of leadership and military strategy. Chandragupta Maurya overthrew the Nandas and established the Maurya Empire, uniting much of India under one rule. Other regions like Kosala, Vatsa, and Magadh's neighboring states fell one by one due to their inability to resist the expansionist policies of Magadh. The most significant phase in the rise of Magadh was the establishment of the Maurya Empire under Chandragupta Maurya in 321 BC. This empire, which lasted for several centuries, united much of the Indian subcontinent for the first time in history. The Maurya Empire reached its zenith under Ashoka the Great, who not only expanded the empire but also spread Buddhism across Asia, creating a lasting legacy. The Mauryan state was highly centralized, with a powerful bureaucracy, a standing army, and a network of spies, which helped maintain control over the vast empire. Ashoka's reign marked a turning point in Indian history, as he embraced Buddhism and propagated its teachings, influencing not just India but also regions beyond its borders. The rise of the Magadh Empire was a multifaceted process involving geopolitical advantages, strong military leadership, economic prosperity, and the spread of cultural and religious movements. The Haryanka dynasty and Maurya dynasty played pivotal roles in shaping the political landscape of India, with rulers like Bimbisara, Ajatashatru, Chandragupta Maurya, and Ashoka steering the kingdom to its peak. Their political acumen, combined with the region's geographical benefits, laid the foundation for Magadh's rise as one of the most powerful empires in ancient Indian history. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch and engage with this content. We hope you found the information insightful and enriching. Stay tuned for more content, and once again, thank you for being a part of this journey.